Welcome to the second video in this Spaceship series. In the first episode, I built the cockpit. In this one, I'm working on the hallway, with a chute going down to, well, you have to stick around to see where this is heading. I think placing a chute in the middle of the hallway would cause accidents real fast, so I'm doing alterations to my initial sketch. This feels a bit more in line with health and safety. Alright, let's begin. The sketching stage is mostly to give myself an idea where I want this to go, but from the very beginning I'm not following the sketch, since I want to use leftover parts from a military vehicle kit I have. That automatically makes the hallway bigger. But this isn't a replica project. If it looks cool, that's good enough for me. I use styrene pieces to fill the gaps between the kit parts and to build up the walls of the room. For smaller holes, I use Tamiya putty as a filler. This blue plastic cup has the exact dimensions of the chute, so I use it as a guide to make the doors. It will probably be used to make the walls of the chute in the room beneath in later episodes. These nail cutting scissors are great for curved cuts. I want to take a moment to thank Mograph for being my very first patron. If you want your name on the wall, please check out my Patreon page. You'll get access to 3D files, behind the scenes content, and I take your feedback into account. Enough of that, let's get back to crafting. I continue shaping the room and building up the walls and floor. There's no secret that I take a lot of my inspiration from Star Wars, so by using parts from an R2-D2 kit, it helps me achieve that aesthetic. I plan on installing lights in the spaceship once all the rooms are finished, so these will become wall light fixtures. The wall is a bit flimsy, so I'm gluing on some supports on the back to give it some more rigidity. Wires and 3D printed parts, similar to the ones used in the cockpit, further tie the rooms together. This console, with the wires on each side, controls the chute. Some people hate 3D, others love it. Feel free to skip ahead if it's not your thing. But here's a quick look at how I modeled the ladder for this project. I won't go into much detail, but you can see that with very little effort, you can get a custom piece that looks pretty good. And that would be pretty hard to make from scratch, though not impossible. With some paint, I think this will look very good. I mix nail polish remover with Tamiya putty to get that paste you sometimes see armor modelers use to give their tanks a heavy metal texture. The main reason I'm adding texture to the floor is visual interest, and honestly, it's just more fun to paint than a flat surface. It dries quite quickly, and after a bit of sanding, it's going to look pretty cool. I don't know what these are supposed to be, but small details like this make it look more believable, I think. The latter will make the back wall harder to paint, so I'm painting them separately. This is where I get excited, the painting. This whole project is going to take some time, so I've written down the names of the base paints I use, so I don't forget between each video. This is like a fantasy sci-fi project, but I still want it to be somewhat believable. So I'm adding a warning sign and a sign for where the first aid kit should be. These are inkjet prints and will bleed. So I use matte Mod Podge as glue and sealer to protect the paper. I do this now before the weathering so that they feel like a natural part of the room. Some parts of the room are painted in a colder gray, just to break up the uniform color scheme. You can see that the Mod Podge left some residue, so I'm painting over that with the same base warm gray, also making the panels more crisp than with the airbrush paint job. This room has just one job, connecting all the rooms together. That makes me think it should have a more industrial, practical look than the rest of the ship. So I'm going with hazard stripes. Starting by covering everything in yellow first, then lining up the stripes with a thin pen, before filling in every other line. That took some time and a few coats, but it was very satisfying to see it come together. I scratched the doors in the direction they would open. Small touches like this really help, I think. Alright, the base coat is done, and I can now dirty it up with enamel wash over everything. As you can see, I thin the wash quite a lot with enamel thinner. I then dab off the excess almost immediately after application. This step gives the walls a lot more character and age. I don't thin the enamel wash as much on the floor. A black pin wash or panel liner is used to bring out details and make things stand out. After that, I add highlights to make the details pop even more. I felt that this uneven floor would look better if the tops were very worn compared with the lower parts. So I added black, grey and brown paint with a quick and messy dabbing using a sponge. You can't go wrong with a bit of rust, but I kept it to the floor and a few select spots. After all, who would actually build a spaceship out of something that rusts? I wanted to show you that sometimes, even though you spend a long time on something, you might want to start over. This ladder, I wanted it to look like painted steel with flaking paint. I love painting small details like this and often go into the process without really thinking it through. Sometimes it comes out looking alright, but this time I really didn't like it. So I start over, this time thinking more carefully about what I actually want to achieve and then sticking to that plan. I prime in dark brown like the rest of the ship, then a pass of steel paint. When that's dry, I spray everything with a chipping medium and let that dry. Then I spray over the color I want the ladder to be. When that's dry, I wet a stiff-ish brush and start flaking away. I'm a lot happier with this result, so starting over was the right choice, I think. I can now focus on the first aid kit. I used 4 colors and started painting from dark to light. Using very watered down paints makes it look worn and organic. I just take my time and slowly build up thin layers. Adding a human element like this leather bag makes the room feel more believable and lived in. And it was a lot of fun to paint. And when it and the ladder are glued in place, I think it's done. I am very happy with this. Gluing the hallway to the cockpit was a really exciting moment. So there you have it, people, the second part of my spaceship project. Please let me know what you think in the comment section, like, subscribe and all of that. And don't forget to check out the first video in the series if you haven't already. Until next time, goodbye.